As we move forward in today's program, it is a privilege to introduce a speaker who personifies the technocrat statesman, a leader who has navigated the worlds of rocket science, corporate boardrooms, and national policy with equal finesse. Our speaker today began his journey at the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, contributing to India's scientific frontier before moving to the core of Indian administration via the civil services. With an IIM Bangalore background, he has bridged the gap between academic theory and grassroots governance.
Having served as the OSD to the Chief Minister of Kerala and a Union Cabinet Minister, he eventually transitioned into political leadership. As the founding president of the All India Professionals Congress in Kerala and as AICC secretary, he played a pivotal role in the historic electoral shift in Telangana. Beyond his public life, he is a patriarch of a family that leads the global dialogue in artificial intelligence and design in Silicon Valley. Please join me in welcoming a man of science, law, and strategy to the Red Circle, Mr. Sreenivasan Krishnan.
Good evening, everyone. The decisions that you take at different stages in your life will have long-term impact many a times. It can be personal decisions, maybe the kind of the food that you have, or the spouse you decide to or the girl you decide to marry. It can be decision about the corporate decisions that you take when you are in the corporate world. It can be about the educational course that you will choose, or when you are in the civil service, the policy decisions, and in public life, the long-term decisions that you take, which has a wider ramifications and impact upon the society. During the last 40 years, I had the privilege of working at different institutions. The short stints with Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, then with Bharat Petroleum Corporation, then with HMT, and from the 1990 onwards in the Indian Civil Services. I thought I will share with you, especially with the younger generation, some of my own experiences about the long-term impact of the decisions taken by the visionary leaders, because that can play as a role model for the future generation, how they should grow up. First, let me give you an example of Cochin Airport. Till around the early 1990s, Cochin did not have a civil airport of its own. The seniors will know we were using the airport at Wellington Island, which is basically a defense airport. So it had its own restrictions. It was a small strip of a runway. There were a lot of problems in expanding it with backwaters on both sides and the control of the defense. So the then CM, who was a dynamic person, decided that a large city like Cochin with so much of potential in tourism, growth and business cannot continue like this. So he came up with an idea, let's go to Delhi and think about starting a new airport which can serve the city in the long term for 30 to 40 years. At that time, all the airports in the country, civilian airports, were controlled by government, Airport Authority of India. So he approached the civil aviation authorities, met the chief of Airport Authority of India, and pleaded with them, city needs, we require a third international airport in the state. We require a bigger airport. Everybody will take the papers, we'll think about it. Nothing happened. So it was at that time, the then leader decided that we should have some novel idea, as Ms. Rachel was saying, out-of-the-box idea to have a new airport. Why should we always depend on a government? Let's have an airport outside the purview of Airport Authority of India. First time in the history of this country. Then he said, what are the biggest constraint? Permissions? Yes, somehow we will get. But in any new venture, what is the biggest constraint always? Money. Government does not have money. So he said, let us start a public limited company where the government can make a contribution. Let's collect money from tens of thousands of potential users, our friends and relatives in the Middle East. And then let's ask some institutions to invest. That was a novel idea. Can you believe an airport owned by tens of thousands of public, the common man? The money was raised. Then came the major problem of land acquisition. The initial project which came up was, let's have 500 acres and 6,000 feet of runway, which will be suffice for a A320 to land. At that time, we didn't have a direct flight even to Delhi. It used to go by refueling from Bombay or Goa. He said, you don't know. See, he may not be a formal graduate from any college or something, but with his rich experience, he said, this is Kerala. Before the project comes, you should acquire the maximum possible land. Acquire the maximum possible land with the minimum legal hurdles. Because once you get into major legal hurdle, the project will not take off. So he gave the confidence to the officials, and at that time they acquired 1,200 acres, although the initial demand was only for 500 to 600 acres. Looking back, what a visionary decision it was. For latest phases of expansion, for the international terminal, for the golf course, for the convention centers, for the airport hangars, they didn't have to, or solar panels, they didn't have to acquire even 1 square centimeter of land. That is a visionary decision. That is, tomorrow begins today. That's a visionary decision. Next came the runway length, 6,000 feet. He said, how can you have 6,000 feet? We are expecting to have an international airport where the flights will land from the Middle East. I want flights, long-haul flights coming from Europe. Tomorrow you should not say, let's start expanding. No. He said minimum of 10,000 feet. Below that I will not accept. So eventually we came to a length of 3,400 odd meters, which is equivalent to 11,000 feet. And today, because of that visionary decision, even an A380 carrying 500 passengers can land in Cochin if they require it. So that is the impact of the visionary decisions that you take in life. It's not that visionaries are born. People say, oh, he was a great visionary, he was born. No. I should tell my young brothers and sisters that that nature can be cultivated. Think on a long-term basis. Whatever decision that you take, it has to be cultivated, and it can be cultivated, that nature. Now let me come to the flip side. Before that, one point I want to mention, because of the decisions, Cochin International Airport as on today has become the 3rd largest airport as far as international passengers are concerned in India. What a great achievement. All because of the long-term decisions and its impact on the society. Now let me come to the flip side. I was working with HMT in the late 80s as an engineer with the watch marketing division, just out of college. HMT was a known brand all across the country, manufacturing everything from watches to tractors to, bulbs to printing machinery. Why did that company with a brand image all across the country collapse? It was mainly because of a wrong long-term policy decision which was taken. I'm giving this example just to convince that today's decision, how it will impact tomorrow. In the second half of the 80s and in the first half of 90s, when the world was changing towards quartz watches, the critical decision makers in the company thought rural India will not accept quartz watches but will stick to mechanical watches. They invested heavily in plants like Rani Bagh in Uttar Pradesh and different parts of the country into mechanical watches. Our market changed swiftly. Even rural India started accepting quartz watches. After 2-3 years, they wanted only quartz watches, cheaper, low-cost maintenance. You don't have to wind it every day. The market changed swiftly, and with the result, the company had this huge plan, production, lakhs of watches, mechanical watches lying and not being sold. So it's an impact of a wrong, and the company eventually fell into a financial trap and could not come out of it. That was the main reason such a large conglomerate like HMT collapsed in this country. There was no long-term vision by the decision makers. No, that's the past history that I'm telling. Let's come to the present. We are at the cusp of a huge change. AI is going to come into the has come into the market. It's not going, it has already come into the market. It is going to influence all aspects of your life. And whatever may be the profession, it's going to affect you. Whether you're in the medical profession, whether you're in the legal profession, whether you're doing engineering, you tell me whatever it is, it's going to affect. Now, it's something like what I should say, electricity which came in the second half of the Industrial Revolution. Till then it was steam engine. Once electricity came, it transformed the way people are living all across the globe. Electricity came, manufacturing became easier, transportation came, bulbs came, fans came, washing machine came, refrigerator came, cell phones came, internet came, all. The root thing is electricity. Same way, that was a major change in the way the human civilization lived. Now almost 100 or 150 years later, we are at the cusp of a major change, AI revolution. Now, what are the things, main characteristics or nature that is required by the new generation? The decisions that you should take at this moment so that their tomorrows will be comfortable. One, the main thing is adaptability. In earlier generations, if you had tremendous memory, you were supposed to be 17th, 18th century, you were supposed to be a great man. You are thorough with Bible or you are thorough with Quran, you're a great man. Society used to respect. Then came my generation and all, where expertise was valued very much. He's a brilliant doctor. He has seen hundreds of cases. Or he's a brilliant lawyer, thorough with criminal and all aspects of law. Or he's an engineer, he can do multiple things. That was valued very much. Now that's going to change. In the AI era, the most important quality that you require is adaptability. You have to adapt at the earliest to the changes that's happening. Irrespective of your age, irrespective of where you stay, that's going to influence your life in a very, very big way. Jobs are going to change. The way students learn is going to change. You are going to have, already you have the driverless cars. I won't say teacherless schools, but at least the way you teach in schools in the next 4 or 5 years is going to change in a big way. AI is going to play a critical role. You can't replace the teachers because AI has only intelligence. It doesn't have emotions. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have empathy and sympathy, which are extremely important for a student and in school. That you cannot replace. But the way you teach the subjects, that's extremely important, and AI will play a very critical role. So how fast you adapt to the changes that's happening in the society, that's going to play a very, very critical role in every aspect of life. If you cannot leverage the advantages of AI, you will not be successful in the mainstream. I'm plus 60, I'm a senior citizen. I am thinking of seriously joining some AI course because if I plan, God willing, to live for another 20 years, I need to know what are the advantages of AI and how these things are to be applied in my life. Now let me tell you about the impact it will have on jobs. I'm telling you from my practicals, I don't want to name any, but I've been talking to somebody who is doing AI in a big way, in cutting edge technology. So he was saying, take about jobs. AI will replace certain jobs, okay, certain other jobs will come. For example, coding you take. We have the system of companies recruiting 30,000, 40,000 people for coding, basic coding in computer science in organization. You see these large buildings in major cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad having 30,000 or 40,000 people working. No. That will become a thing of the past in the not too distant future. The machines will take over. You would no longer require human beings to do these basic things in life. Machines will take over. So the number of recruitments, everything will come down. Second, call centers. I'm just giving an example. Call centers. You have these call centers in Noida and other places. We also do the back-end job for companies in the US, where tens of thousands of youngsters are working. Machines are going to take over that. It's already being taken over in countries like the US and all. It's machines that they answer. It's not the normal bot thing. Real life, you get the experience like real life humans are talking to you or answering to you. Call centers or after sales officers where hundreds of people sit and answer to you is going to be a thing of the past. Already, as I mentioned, it has happened. One more thing about this thing is scalability of AI. This is a very important thing that you should remember. Scalability of AI. The younger generation should know. As I mentioned just now, you are replacing 30 individuals in an AI in an after-sales service. 30. Once the machine learns that, it can be scaled to 3,000 without much of an extra marginal cost in a matter of few days. See, earlier, the civilization or the society depend on the number of trained people that you have. You require additional people. If I go back earlier in farming, you have 10,000 acres, but if you have only 100 people, what can you do? Number of trained men were a limitation. No. Men are no longer, human beings are no longer required in certain areas of functioning. Machines are going to take over. It's not in the long run. It's in a question of 4 to 5 years, I'm saying. It's already happened in different countries. Scalability is a very important thing. Let me take, as a person who's involved in public life, let me think about something in Panchayat. We should think about that because the benefit, whatever the AI benefit comes, it should reach the last person. It should benefit the poorest of the poor. So start thinking. If you can do something in a village, Panchayat, in AI, overnight or in a matter of month, if it is successful, it can be replicated all across this country. What a brilliant idea. So the quality of life is going to improve in many, many areas of life. Some jobs might vanish, but certain other jobs are going to come into this country. New avenues are going to open up. That's where this generation should be prepared right now. Because as I said, it's going to benefit. It's like it's like a tide which is coming. When a tide comes, it lifts everything, the small boat and the big ship. It's going to benefit like that when AI technology revolution comes into the country, which is already coming. And this is the youngest society in the world for the next 50 years. Youngest society in the world. The potentials for youngsters are huge. It all depends on how you can how you can use that AI for the smallest person in this country. Like, earlier days, I remember when I used to study in IIM and all, they used to teach us about 1 rupee packet, chota packet, or 5 rupee biscuit, 3 biscuits, tiger biscuits. Nowhere else in the world you see, because that's only the buying potential. We should repack the AI technology in such a way, that's where your potential or your ingenuity is required, where it will benefit the smallest kirana store. It can be done to reduce his stock, to increase his sales. It should benefit in a creative way the smallest farmer. The agricultural waste in this country is phenomenal. Vegetables and fruits from farm to the table, the wastage is about 20-25%. Can you believe that? So if you can use AI in such sectors, how can you reduce the losses which will benefit the common man? That is the way you should be thinking. Now, innumerable job opportunities will come. One particular area is, as I said, how can you use the existing AI technology to the benefit of different sectors? In medicine is going to be in a big way. Scan reports, machines are going to read, doctors will be there, but machines are going to read it. Why? A doctor might remember about 10,000 cases of scan reports, where AI machine in a fraction of a second will have access to 1 million reports. The decision will be based on that, collective decision. And the importance of this is, unlike machines or human beings, the more you use AI machine, the better the AI machine becomes. That's the beauty of the AI technology that you have. So in short, it depends on how you utilize it. Also, another opportunity is AI infrastructure. Those who are not interested in the software, this country is going to invest heavily into AI infrastructure. For example, the power that is required, it is humongous. I was shocked to read one of the major sources where power will be consumed in future is for AI maintenance. For maintaining the data centers, and a humongous amount of power is required. So people can find opportunities in such areas. So the opportunities that will open up in the days ahead for you are limitless. Take the decision now. Now decides tomorrow what you will achieve. That is the beauty. You have a great opportunity. You are at a time when the tide of this AI is rising. Time and tide will not wait for beyond a certain limit. You have to strike when the iron is hot. Take this opportunity. Your generation is lucky because the decision that you take now will have a long-term impact. It is today that you should take the decision, for tomorrow begins now. Thank you.
I now invite Niharika on stage to present a memento to Mr. Sreenivasan Krishnan as a gesture of our appreciation.
Remembrance come more than the new ideas. My 17 years, my kids were here. Thank you so much. We are grateful to you for the excellent training that you gave.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. I'm sure your words of wisdom have left a profound impact on the audience.